YouTube, new family. Daniel back here for another video. We are right now on a 24-hour water fast. We're embarking. We're about 6 hours in. I started at 6 a.m. this morning, and I do a water fast every other week now. Each week we do fast, however. It's for Jesus, for the Spirit, to connect and dissolve the flesh. The flesh is, what gets in the way, especially when you eat. You obviously it's necessary, but you see how the body and the flesh starts to take over with its things it needs to do, of course, but it's not the best in terms of connecting fully. Of course, you can fast always, but each week is a good way to reset your body and see where you're at. And it's also just to see how strong your spirit is, because it's what actually takes over when your body and the mind can no longer do it, depending on how long you fast. But the most I've done is 60 hours, I believe. That was a water fast, and that was crazy. But dry fast, no food, no water, for 24 hours. So I've done 33 hours, which was crazy hard, and especially in the mornings is the toughest time, and you just allow the Spirit to guide you, and it's what's supposed to guide you always. But of course, when you're eating, consuming, the Spirit kind of takes a back seat to what the body needs to do. But when you have no food in the system and no water, it's a form of suffering for the body, but for the Spirit, it's like an awakening. It's crazy. So anyways, video was not made yesterday. Even today, as I'm making this, it's a much lower frequency day, yesterday as well. But my morning reflections, walking today as well, on my Instagram, you guys can see, I was able to realize it's something I prayed for. The battle I'm having now, basically asked Jesus to give me more dark, basically asked for more of the devil, because I'm looking to become a stronger soldier for him. And when you want to grow, or Jesus wants you to grow, he sends you your battles, your tests, basically the devil, to come and give you dark so you can get out of it and find Jesus again. It's always a reset. Every day is a reset. But your biggest battles with the devil will bring you closer to Jesus, because you have the first off the temptations of the world, which are designed to give you to bring you to the devil, the lust, the ego, the love of money, status. You could say status is a thing. Comparing, competing. These are things that make you always look around, see what other people are doing, give you feelings towards what you need to do now, and like being in a rush. I have to be there now because this person's here, and I need something external, and you're always looking, and you're never actually able to find peace. But on top of that, you get the battles of in your own head, thinking, creating stories, like the ones I mentioned, competing, comparing, creating stories, meaning in the past and the future. You're never actually present. You're reflecting on something that happened in the past, and what could have been, or in the future, and what could be, giving a feeling to that. It's all fake. But when you have those dark days, it's almost like it's harder to get out. It's almost like the devil has you pressed down more, and you feel heavy, you feel off, you feel choppy, you're not able to flow. Flowing is the best way, obviously, that you connect with God and basically make yourself a vessel. But when you're choppy, you feel it, like it's heavy. You feel like I can't really get rhythm. You're creating stories. You're in your head. The frequency's off. You feel weird. But like I said, it's something I prayed for, and it's perfect. And it's just accepting it, going through it, and smiling, because when you pass the test, new levels, new devils, you go closer to the devil. Sorry, closer to God. As long as you keep doing what the devil tells you not to do. So if the devil tells you to go one way, you go the other way. If it tells you don't post that, post that. If it tells you don't share that, share that. If it tells you what will happen if, you do it anyways. Like, it's just going against and using the devil, the stories, the fear. Not the stories, because then you just start to overthink, but the fear it tries to give you of don't do this, and what would they say? You just do it anyways. And that will be more louder because you have that battle. But like I said, once you go against it and you have faith and seeing and feeling God again, then it's perfect, and it's all that needs to be done. So it's always realizing that as you grow more, you'll have obviously more light, but also more dark, stronger dark, and it gets harder and harder. But once you get out, it's like a breath of fresh air again. But like, it's realizing that, like for me, once you really have a calling to do this path, grow spiritually, and give your gift this way, give your gift in peace and not looking for feelings like the world tells you to look. And it's easier now, like I said, much easier to find something to give a feeling to. But when you go against that and you start living for frequency, you start to have battles that people won't see. It's only you and the devil. I made a video about this, but the only basically enemy you have is the devil. There's no person or ex-partner or whatever it is you try to create a story about saying that it's your competition. The only competition is really the devil and what he tells you to do, the fear he tries to give you, the doubt, the worry, the competing, the comparing, all these different things. That's your enemy. So staying away from that and being aligned. But like I said, as you grow more, elevate more, you just get things that you don't expect, because the element of control, at least for me, I'm seeing is still there. Something I have to kill, in order for God to really bless you and Jesus to really guide you. You have to remove the control. The control for me has been, wanting to know how, wanting to know when, wanting to know, why. Those are three things that I see is fear, control. Like you want to, understand how something works before, you can receive it, or like, when it's going to happen, needing to get answers before, as opposed to just flowing and letting God, with you trusting God and trusting yourself to let him bring things into your life. But for me, it's step by step, I'm praying more, suffering more, and really it's asking him to guide me in terms of letting go, because like I said, this was a new level I'm seeing. Before, it was very small things I wouldn't let go of, like old friends. A smartwatch was a big one as well. Like when I spent money on something, I didn't want to let it go because I spent money on it. Like, I believe I have to, just like tie myself to that thing because money was spent. But money is just a tool. It's, in a sense, it's not real. It's just something that you need to exchange for goods and services, but it's not, the love of it is something that you have to begin to kill if you really want to be with God, because God is always first, Jesus is always first, no matter what it is. If you're a millionaire, if you're in a relationship with a super attractive person, that person, you cannot make that your God, or the money your God, or a car or a house. God comes first because he provides everything, all the things you have in this life, you being alive, your conscience, your family, each breath you take, the body you have, everything is belongs to him. So him being first, you have to have a love for the source, the fountain of everything first, and the person that's going to actually fulfill you, because the only thing that can fill you in your life is Jesus. But essentially, he always has to come first, and when he's not, then other things come first. So you can make almost control your God, which is the devil. Control is just fear, but you can make that like the thing you focus on, like how it has to happen. And that's been happening for me, and I'm seeing that it's just letting go, like really just finding ways to just let go of the stories of you needing to see how it happens and why and when. It's simply having faith it's going to happen, putting in the work, and just letting it happen, as opposed to like what's better, it happening and you not knowing how, or you need to know how, the steps, and when, and exactly what's going to happen, and it never occurring because you're focusing on controlling it. For me, I'm speaking to myself at this point, is having faith it's going to happen is the biggest thing, and not letting the doubt and the fear and the devil come in and destroy that, but the belief and the trust is going to happen, and then just taking the steps that your conscience gives you. That's all it is, just flowing, getting the wisdom to do what you have to do, and it happens. Of course, you have to take right action. It's not like you just sit on a couch and pray and it just falls in your lap. You have to grow in order to be able to take on, you can say, the pressure that God will give you. Each step new level, you're able to handle more pressure. So it's being able to build yourself for that. So you still have to take action, and then from there, God blesses you with those things. But it's not understanding, you need to know how or why, because that just gets you thinking, gets you with the devil, creates feelings, and it's fake. So it's, like I said, every day is a reset. And for me and for you watching, you're gonna have days where you're doing the right things, but it's a bit off. It's, be whatever it is. Maybe you prayed for it. Maybe because just God knows you need that thing right now. And it's not about understanding it. It's not about wondering how it happened and why it had to happen this way. And for me, I can make a story because I'm leaving to Brazil in 2 days actually. That like, why it have to happen now? I want to go super connected and aligned to Brazil, but it's perfect because God's doing it. So his timing is never too late, never too early. It's right on time. So it's about enjoying it. And like I said, you'll sometimes forget the prayers you ask for, but when you have them, you can look back and see that it's when something you asked for. But it's about remembering that all the prayers get answered in the time they're supposed to, because God's timing is perfect, and it's not on your time and when, and the time you ask has to be answered that way. It's about having faith, knowing it's going to be answered, and whether you remember the prayer or not. For me, I kind of basically forgot about it, and now I know that I asked for it. So I enjoy it. I take it with a smile. I suffer, and I know it's going to bring me closer to God and bring me to new levels. So it's basically the way. And yeah, it's having faith and knowing that's going to happen, and not needing to know why or how or when. It's just letting it flow and growing each day we grow. But in the dark is where you grow the most. So understand that. Don't fight it. Don't try to control it. Don't try to pick the day it happens and it should have been this day because I'll be more ready. No, God knows what you need each day and will give it to you. So simply accept it, love it, and that's how you go closer to God. So I have to get back to work. I'm actually recording this on my lunch break as I'm working, but just need to throw some wisdom. Need to speak, because that's a key habit to keep the devil away, or else you just get lost in your stories and you simply just fade away, and your spirit fades away. You are your spirit. So in order for that to happen, you speak. You basically then have conscience that you're not your stories, and that's how you grow. You escape the grasp that the devil in your mind tries to get, constantly grabbing you with stories and feelings and it's over here, it's over there, and it's this person, it's that person. It's Jesus. It's all you need. Focus on Jesus and how he's present in your life. Thank him for everything, and that's how you grow. So yeah, enjoyed this a lot. Getting a little thirsty, a little pasty, but it's perfect. I've done this before, so it's gonna be it's good to do it again. But like I said, it's just for the spirit. It's not for the body. It's not for the benefits and what's gonna happen after and all these things. It's for God. So we keep moving forward. We keep growing, and the things we ask for, like for me, more darkness is perfect. So we grow from that as well. But like I said, Brazil, 2 days, crazy. You guys want to see, I'm gonna bring the camera. I'm gonna see if I can do some vlogs as well. But I heard it's a bit riskier there in terms of exposing things. For me, I like to film, especially here in Canada where I live. I can film, openly. But over there, there's many different instances where we can't. So we'll be careful, but of course we won't lose faith, and we'll keep sharing how we grow. And if you guys want to connect as well, you guys can see the habits, the lifestyle, the coaching as well, to get you to a place where you no longer live for feelings and stories. But as you see, each day is a reset, and each day we grow. So there's no such thing as perfection. That's Jesus. But we keep taking on the new level and basically having that fight with the devil, and be glad it's happening, because on the other side is better connection with Jesus and more of his love and his presence. So if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. You guys can see more videos. There's also a masterclass you guys can see below of how to find God in 2026, especially now we're coming more and more closer to the end of time. So if you guys follow that, align yourself, and you guys also have the coaching as well, so you can approach me and we can have a conversation of how to set yourself more free each day. Then you basically become unstoppable, and you reach the level where you should be focused, which is spiritual, because that's where everything comes from. It's not physical, it's not mental, it is spiritual with God. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed, God bless, and as always, until next time, keep killing it.